So for a current event, we have I feel like I need to point out a success story with a production company called Pixar. So
Mm,
little company. I'm not sure if you all know about this company,
mm-mm.
but for a while there, it seems almost since the pandemic or even a little before the pandemic, this is a successful company that's kind of been held back, just strictly put on streaming services. So this is their first movie going to theater in a long time. And this movie, I believe it hit a billion or it's about to hit a
Yep.
billion. So it's been highly successful, doing very well. So I feel like it's something that should be mentioned because going forward, use Pixar. It's what I'm saying. You know, they put bums in the seat, and they also put butts in the seat. So
Yes, bums. They regularly invite them in
uh,
there, you know. But the
yeah.
bums don't sit on their butts. The bums have to sit there and
No.
like they actually sit upside down when they sit on the seats. It's really weird to look at. You
Yeah.
don't want to see
Pixar
it.
of them.
It's so
Yeah.
Pixar. Did you guys see Inside Out 2 yet?
I
I'm
did.
not gonna watch that in the theaters. I'll wait till it's Disney Plus.
Is there a reason why you didn't like the first one that much?
Oh no, I did. I just we're in a day and age we're selective. You know what I mean? Of what we're going to
Yeah.
the theater for,
Hmm.
and I don't like people, especially don't like people who have kids. You
Yeah.
you're fine, Dan. You're in the good
Say,
category. But
you tolerate
if
us.
I don't know you and you have kids, I don't want you near me. You
Yeah.
know, and so I don't want to go into a theater filled with all that.
Mm. All that
Yeah.
drama.
How much? I like that. I'm
I
glad
did too.
Disney finally like stopped having Pixar on the back burner for some reason. For the last few
Yeah,
years, they've been like, "Hey, just put them on Disney Plus." And
Hmm.
look, the first movie back to the theater,
hit a
uh,
billion.
or, yeah,
Hmm.
already being the highest of the year. It's like you could have been doing this with Pixar.
I totally agree with you,
Yeah,
man. And that's why they need a they I it's smart that they're really focusing and they're giving Pixar the stage and the limelight because they had to have, right? Like when you're so massively successful, you can't deny that. I mean, you have to accept it.
It's the only
Have
thing
to.
that's going well
it's,
for
it's the
them
only
right now.
branch that's doing good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And just despite there being hubbub and drama about that movie in the background,
Yeah.
like they had
Yeah,
casting issues with some stuff, and
Why is there?
from what it seems like a mix of financial and creative differences
Mm.
because Bill Hader and Kaling would have cost
Yeah.
more to have,
Yeah.
and they were also helping out in the creative end, like they helped with rewrites and helping
Yeah.
flesh out visuals and other things
Interesting.
for the characters that they were portraying and other characters. So I think
Hmm.
again that probably ties again to that money. You know, they're doing so much, but to pay them more. No, let's not do that.
Come on,
Let's get
Disney.
equally good people, but no, have to worry about them on
yeah,
the
because
creative end.
Disney is hurting for money right now.
Yeah.
They really are, you know. They're someone's got to pay to go into Disneyland
Uh,
with those cheap prices.
yeah. Well, I'm glad in spite of that it ended up working out. I know there was a also an attempted boycott of the movie that failed.
Was
So
there?
Why?
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it's also because Disney donated some money to humanitarian aid in Israel. So
Oh,
people were
okay.
like, let's boycott it.
Mm.
So, but it didn't work, obviously. It made money.
I love the Pixar shorts, you know, that like do you guys ever go on the Disney
Oh
Plus and see a
yeah.
lot?
Oh yeah.
Like
Man, those hit
Bow.
me in my feels all the time. Man, Bao, I love.
Oh
Bao's
yeah.
probably
Yeah.
my favorite. I love
Yeah.
Lava. Lava's another good one. Man, but like I started watching this other one where like these you know, like this couple that's like older now and then they're dancing in the rain and stuff and they're getting youthful and you see the guy chasing after.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, these things are so this is like better drama than most of the dramas that we're seeing in as like feature films. Like, what is it that Pixar is doing that's so magical? Is it that they're hiring the best writers? Is it that they're allowing the creatives to just actually create and getting out of the way? Like, why is it that these are succeeding and the others are not?
I had read a long time ago. They actually they created and they have Pixar rules. So all of the stories have to meet certain rules that they have.
Mm.
And I think that helps them structure these like really emotional based character driven stories that don't always hit the same point.
Mm.
So I think they have something internally established, like a blueprint that they're able to then kind of plug in and work off of that helps branch and flesh out their ideas. So they're not just doing generic stuff. Like it forces them to expand on certain things that maybe other movies might skip right over.
Tie on to that, it kind of goes back to episode we did before on the short films. We were talking about the stop motion animation with the dinosaur and the fox. And when it comes to animation, like you got to put so much detail and work into it that you don't want to waste time on something that's not worth telling, And like with these animators, a lot of them, especially with the shorts, this is their getting into this world. Like this is their moment to show like, hey, I want to be a part of this. I belong here. I'm going to prove it to you in these 5-10 minutes, with this little thing here, with this little story, which a lot of times doesn't even have words. Most of these shorts have minimal talking. It's purely the visuals telling you the story. And that's a very important thing. And a lot of times, like when you see the production process for these things, as you probably know, Dan, because you worked on some animation yourself,
Hmm.
it's just those storyboards. Those
Hmm.
storyboards got to convey the message
That's
with
everything.
within like those 10-20 panels, and that's
Hmm.
it. And when you can pull it off there, that's the hard part. If you
Hmm.
got it there, you're gonna get it in the animation. The animation is just
Yeah.
connecting the dots.
Exactly. Like I'm glad you touched on that because the storyboard is by far the most emphasized thing when you're dealing with animation. You spend the most time in pre-production,
Yeah.
obviously because it's animation, right? But you spend the most time doing that with the storyboard. And whereas with features, you have some directors that don't really focus too much on storyboarding and they kind of it's more like an onset thing or they start formulating it as they're during the process of going from the storyboard to actual production. But with animation, you can't do that because you have so many departments and so many animators that are on that. You have to have the game plan of what you're doing. It has to be perfectly mapped out. And oftentimes, the animators are constantly adjusting and readjusting the script based off of their story panels. So then the script writers, that's why you see so many writers involved with animation projects because sometimes the initial writer is now gone and working on something else. So they'll bring on writers to come in and kind of fix or start to write in what the animators are doing. And it's really I love the companies that focus on that more and they allow the animators to start adjusting and retelling the story because that's what it should be, right? It's animation at the end of the day. And I think it's giving respect to the animators because they're essentially the storytellers. They're even though yes, you have the director, the animators very much are still directing the scenes and the little things that you see, especially with Pixar, the little tiny details that they put in there. That's not the director that's pointing out and telling them to put all that in there. It's the animators.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of thing I think with these animations, like you said, with the artists, they're taking from their life. They're taking little things that they're seeing like their kid do. It's like, oh, that was really cool. I want to use that
Mm-hmm.
purity of what my kid just did and put it into this character, this towel that has to
Mm-hmm.
walk their way to the bathroom and get back onto the hook. It's like I want to
And
use that to
Moonwalk.
inspire this. But they really use little things in life to help. Like
Yeah.
a lot of times there's these inanimate objects in these cartoons,
Mm-hmm.
that would not have human characteristics,
Mm-mm.
and they're taking from what their lived experiences and just translating it into this.
Dude, yes, I just saw a video of one where one of the people, the animators for How to Train a Dragon, put tape on the bottom of his cat's paws and there's a video of it and you see the cat kind of struggling with the tape under the paws and then that's the animation that they drew movement by movement of the dragon when it has like the tail and things and all that and it's just like it's
Nice.
really cool how they do that because art imitates life, right? And that's how you create it. And there's something so pure about animation that I think is just it's so beautiful and brilliant because you're adding all these senses, whereas sometimes when you're watching live action, it feels sometimes fake. It feels more phony. It feels like you're playing an image of something, but there's something so original about animation.